What up, guys? We got all kinds of people already waiting to go in. So tonight's going to be interesting night. Might be a lot of fun. I had Steve, who I have on here tonight, message me a couple days. It's been probably a couple weeks ago. Hey, can you want me to come on my show? And I said, sure, why not? And so it's going to be really good, and you're going to learn a lot, hopefully, and that's the goal. Also, just to let you know, this show is brought to you by kingofpressurewash.com. That is my website that if you want to, you can go to pressurewashhelp.com/free and get 30 days free into the membership. And that is the community where we have, we actually just had a live tonight. We also do a live every Monday night talking about marketing, because marketing is the number one thing that will grow your business. You can do everything else, but if you don't do marketing, you probably are not going to grow your business. And so you got to do marketing for your business. We got a few people in here. We got Jason Hefner. Hello, Steve. Awesome, Steve. We got Robert Scott from Cincinnati. Big Time is in the house, George Yost. And so we'll get started here. So tell me, Steve, tell me a little bit about who are you and where are you from? And yes, you're probably going to have to open your ears because he might have a little bit of an accent.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm Steve. I'm obviously not very American. I'm very Scottish. I've quite recently started my own pressure washing company, exterior cleaning company, um, and I'm very happy to be here. Um,
So you're from Scottish, but tell us a little bit about how you got started and what did you previously did before you started pressure washing.
okay, so previously I worked for a company called Scottish Power. I was a project planner for Scottish Power and basically taking on all their problems and finding a solution. And I wanted to get away from the corporate world. The corporate world was just a horrible place to be. I wanted to be somewhere I could work outside, that I could meet lots of nice new customers, I could see happy faces, and you didn't get to see that in the corporate world.
No,
Um,
you don't even get to see that in America in the corporate world. I actually had somebody email me this big long message. I haven't. I'll be putting a video out on it, but he was saying that he made 100 grand a year. He has good health insurance, but he hates his job. And it sounds like you were kind of in that same spot. Would you agree with that?
I would very much agree with that. The money was good. I'm, blessed for the money that I made out of that company. But it's a horrible working life. It's when you wake up in the morning and you roll out of bed and you're sort of thinking, God, I have to go and turn that laptop on. And then, what kind of BS am I going to take throughout the day? And then to then transcend into my own business and doing something I can say I actually love. Um, it's a night and day feeling. So good.
So when did you act? So you just started your business probably back last year, correct? Or was it just this first month was really the first month of it?
Well, I started back in November. I started the business in November. Started off with things like your marketing, which obviously you have to have before you have the equipment. But then I actually had the equipment before I started marketing, so I probably did it the wrong way around. Um, and this is my first full month. I did some work in February, but I haven't even I put it through the books obviously. But this is my first full month, and I'm very happy to say it's all came together quite nicely.
So your first full month, how much did you do in your first full month?
Well, actually, after the conversation we had earlier, I think it was I worked out a calculation to be 62.50 so far this month. But then I've had another booking, which is like £500, which I think is about $700. So I can say almost $7,000. Um,
So you've almost done $7,000 starting out from nothing, which is pretty amazing. And that is amazing. It isn't pretty amazing. That is amazing. And so, what are some things that you did to be able to get to that 7,000?
You're pro- you're probably going to be quite surprised and probably quite flummoxed. So my marketing budget so far has been about $30. So I haven't sort of went right into the whole Facebook. I've got Google My Business, which has worked for me. I'm also with Yale.com. I don't know if it's basically the old Yellow Pages. I don't know if you have that in the States,
Mm-hmm.
but that's worked well for me. To be fair, that's now costing me, I think, £80 per month, which is, I don't know, $130 or something. That's working for me because this is the time now that people are looking for services. They're looking to have their driveway cleaned or their render cleaned or stuff like that. So they're actually starting to use that for me, or starting to use that service now. So that's marketing that is working for me. Um, but part of it was luck. I took on a couple of jobs for a friend who had a holiday home, or he had two holiday homes in the same complex. And he asked me to go and clean them. I was like, yeah, sure. We came up with a very friendly price. And while I've been up there, I've had about, I think it's 23 or 24 customers come along and just say, hey, can you do mine? I want this done, I want my decking done. And from there, it's kind of just absolutely rolled. But they've also got houses. These are holiday homes. So they've also got houses, and they're saying now, can you do my driveway at home? I live up in, they're maybe like 40 miles away from here. And I've got a rule, I want to stay within an hour to an hour and a half drive. And don't get me wrong, if the money's right, I will travel further. I'll travel to the other side of Scotland for the right kind of money. Um, but yeah, I'm also,
Hold on,
I came
I
from,
want to hit on something because you said you kind of got lucky, and I wouldn't call that lucky. That's kind of where we are. That's kind of brand marketing. That could go down that route of marketing of when people see your vehicle or they see you pressure wash and they see you do different things. That's an important thing that people will see and they want that done. And that's a very important thing to think about when we're doing business. That's why we want to put branding on our vehicles. That's why we want to put out the little A-frame signs or put out a sign that says, hey, we're doing pressure washing.
yeah,
Because, a lot of times, if we are willing to do it for one, obviously the neighbors are going to want their house done. That's the whole reason why we kind of teach to do the 5 around or 10 around if you got time. And, them are important things to think about when we are trying to start and grow a business. And, it's not really being lucky, it's being at the right place at the right time.
right,
And
right,
people
yeah,
are willing to pay to have it done.
absolutely. One thing that's kind of different here, um, we can't do bandit signs. It's not that we won't go to jail if we put a bandit sign, but it won't last more than 10 seconds. The councils around here, the governments around here, would have that ripped up, and the bureaucracy would be too much it wouldn't be worth the tickets that you would collect. So I was very much when I was getting all the equipment ready. To me, the equipment, like you're saying, the marketing is more important than the equipment. I totally realised that. But my vehicle was very much okay. I need to get my branding right on my vehicle. So, and that's kind of going down a different path. Like, your logo is not your brand, but I wanted to have that quite prominent so that people had it in their mind. Oh yeah, I remember that. I've seen that around. I remember that guy. Um, so that was very important. So outside every single house I'm at or every property I'm at, I want them to be driving past, and I've got my number very prominent on there as well. My phone, you know, hasn't. Okay, it has stopped ringing, but it's rang it a lot more than it has ever before. Um,
So is there like a lot of green and moss and dark mode in Scotland?
well, one of the good things is it rains a lot. and it's also, it's been mild this year as well. So that's made everything green. And green's not my favourite colour, but it probably is now. My favourite colour used to be red. It's now green. Um,
Now,
I
do a
love
lot of
green.
people like that green color of the moss growing on their house, or do like the people like it to be clean?
I live in quite it's a good mixture of people in this area, but it's quite a prominent area. There's a place nearby called Alloway, and people want their houses to look better than the house next door. Um, and their green driveways. I was out doing a driveway earlier on, and it was very, very clean. I would say before I even started, but it had like little pockets of moss, and there were we call it monoblocking. You might call it brick pavers. Um, Great looking driveway. I think monoblocking is a lovely looking drive. Um, but they were very much, I want this done. I want it to look better than the neighbours. And I actually said that I want my driveway to look better than the neighbour. And I was thinking, okay, if you want to pay my charge, be my guest. So yeah, green is now
So,
my favourite.
so over there, do you have a reason? Are you using just straight pressure, or are you using chemicals of bleach and SH and stuff like that?
Well, I'll have another story about chemicals, but yes, we are using SH. The stuff I can get at my local chemical supply house is 15%. And I found out the hard way. You need PPE. Um,
Yes.
if you think your PPE is good enough, it's not. Get more. Um, I now have chemical burns down my leg and on my foot. Um, it's not nice stuff. It's nice stuff in the fact of the money it can make you, but it's not nice when it gets to your skin. Um,
You
so
know, and this is one of the things that I've actually started teaching a whole lot in my courses. On my online, I did a little bit, but in my in person, I go very in detail and even scary part of how bad this stuff can be because it's not just chemicals that can hurt you. The pressure washing hoses, I mean, I've got one picture that I had a guy that about fainted when he seen it because it's nasty. But I wanted to show him that this can be very dangerous stuff when we're dealing with these high pressure hoses. And so, whether we're dealing with the high pressure hoses or we're dealing with the chemicals that we're using that can burn us and give us third-degree burns and get into our sock and just sit there and keep giving us third-degree burns and making sure that we're not rinsing that stuff off can be very dangerous. Or even if we get on a ladder and we fall off a ladder, you can fall off a ladder off of a one-story house and it can kill you. Um,
oh yeah,
so so it is very dangerous what we're doing. And so, I've been pushing this a whole lot in my course. In fact, it's almost probably about 30 to 40 minutes of me just talking about the safety side of this because yes, $6,200, $7,000 is great in 1 month, but if you're dead, it doesn't do you very much at the end of the day.
yeah.
Or if you got third-degree burns and you can't sit down or you can't walk or you can't put a shoe on because this stuff got down in your shoe, it got down in your feet. It's definitely something that you have to worry about. And I know a lot of people don't want to worry about this kind of stuff, but it is the most important thing that we need to make sure that we're worrying about it.
Yeah, I was watching kind of follow-up videos on um, how you're mixing your chemicals, like you're mixing SH, and there's all these people that mix Dawn or stuff in with that, and they make the mustard gas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the mustard gas that kills you straight away. That becomes carcinogenic at that point. So I'm always wearing my 3M mask. And one of the guys, I've got a guy working for me. He's like, yeah, you don't need it because I'm like, you do need it, because it's not the effects of it. It might knock you out just now, absolutely, that can happen. But it's further down the line that I'm thinking of now. Um, it might not knock you out just now, or it might knock you out just now. It's when you get cancer, like 5, 10, 20 years down the line, and that's been the main effect because you mixed on dish soap and with your SH.
Well, and even SH alone, breathing it in and it's hitting that hot seal, that hot roof, and it's starting to vaporize right then and there. It can be
Yeah,
very bad. It's not something that it goes straight in your lungs, and it can give you
yeah,
cancers right away. And so,
yeah,
even just not even mixing SH, the SH alone can be very
yeah,
bad. And so
yeah,
it is definitely something that we need to be paying attention to and making sure that we're not doing stupid stuff of just breathing this stuff in, saying, it'll be fine. I ain't worried about that stuff. Um, because it is very important that we make sure that, like I say, we can make $1,000, but it don't do us no good if we can't breathe or we go to we get cancer or something along those lines.
yeah. I've had quite a lot of health issues over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, or 2 years past in July, I had a major stroke, which has left me quite disabled. It means my right leg kind of doesn't want to work properly. I have to wear a brace all the time. My right arm, I don't have the strength I used to have. So to then add um, onto the problems, I don't want to do that. I want to be as safe as possible.
So,
Um,
so being that you just started and you could have been a person that, I can't do this because of my leg or because of whatever else. What are some things that you've done to be able to overcome those? Probably would be called a fear at the end of the day.
yeah, I think most of it's in the mind. Like I think okay, like it's physical, so it's not in the mind. But I think the determination you have to, especially being not well, has taught me a lot about determination and getting to that finishing point. I think we were having the conversation just before we came on here about the book. I can't remember the name of the book. I will find out the name of the book about the little boy and the horse walking through the woods. And the little boy said to the horse, like, I can't see the end. I can't see the finish. And the horse just said to the little boy, like, can you see your next step? Take your next step and you'll get there eventually. So I think in my head now, I think it's mostly about a positive mental attitude. Um, you have to succeed. You have to get there. So, okay, I might have an affliction, if you want to call it that, but that doesn't mean I can't win at this game. It means I have to try harder to win at this game, but it probably means I'm going to finish in front of everyone else when I do finish. So I think it's yeah, you have to be positive, and that helps with it, determination.
And I didn't mean to say fear. That's not really what I was thinking of.
Not so.
It was more thinking of mindset, because we could have went down that I'm in a pity mindset of I can't do it because, or I
Yeah.
can't do this because at the end of the day, our mindset, we can do a lot of amazing things if we do it. And I'm going to ask a question here, and this is going to be for everybody, but I want to hear some things that I've learned to help with my mindset. Is to think positive mindsets, and a lot about my positive mindset has to do with looking at things that we've done well the last week or last month. Not looking at, well, I only got this and it's all negative. But so this is what I'm going to hit on for everybody. I want everybody to answer this question of is what is one thing that you accomplished last week? One thing that was maybe a goal, and what was one thing that you accomplished last week that was positive? And I'll ask you too, Steve. What was one thing last week that you got done that was positive?
Um, I completed on all the holiday homes that I was washing. Um, don't get me wrong. If I never see another one of those holiday homes until next year, I'll be very happy. Michael, the guy that works for me, and he's kind of the same. And don't get me wrong, I shouldn't say that because it did make me quite a lot of money. Um, but I completed on that. I said, right, okay, they were getting difficult to complete, especially getting into certain areas. But I completed it, and I thought, right, okay, let's move on to the next thing. And then it has made me quite a good bit of money, positively. it's made me money. That's really all I'm here for.
And that's a good thing though. And then the other thing is look at how can we do them faster? How can we get them clean faster? What are ways that we can look at to get that faster? What are, they pay well, so how do we get more of them?
That
And
was
so
the,
those are things that we got to look at, so that way when we are looking at those things, we can see, all right, how can I maybe get it done in 5 minutes versus 25 minutes?
yeah, that was one of the things I brought to Michael's attention. Michael, I'll say this now. Michael is a brilliant worker. You don't have to ask him to do things; he's already got it done. So I think if you get to the point you're looking for an assistant or a technician or whatever you want to call it, find yourself a Michael, because just you don't want to have to. It's not that you have to train them up, or you should train them up, but he just has things done. And that's what I said to Michael last week. I was like, let's see how fast we can get this done. So I reckon each property was taking about an hour and 30 minutes when we started. And I had a game of let's try and get this down to an hour and 15 minutes today, or an hour and 10 minutes the next day. So I had it, because, that old saying, time is money, it really is in this game. Like, time is money. So I was trying to get it as fast as possible, but with a good quality finish as well. We don't have, over here, we don't have the same soft wash systems you guys have. Or you can buy them, but you're paying tens of thousands of pounds for that. Um, so our soft wash systems are a bit more primitive. They're on a water-fed pole. So like a window washing brush,
Yeah.
and that's attached to a backpack with a pump and a battery within it. You have to recharge. So it's like a soft wash system, but it's the kind of the old-fashioned soft wash system. Um, and yeah, I was trying to bring that time down. Time is money. So
So is there any? So they don't have the 12-volt pumps or nothing like that there?
there is a company, Rutland Pumps. Um, no, it's like you can buy the pumps, but then you can't buy the other parts. So I had to find a way of constructing it. I've been looking into it, and I just can't get my head around it. I've got far too many things running
Is
through
there
my head.
any farm stores or something like that that would deal with chemicals and moving flowing chemical wise?
Yeah, there's the place I get the chemicals, Bonneman's chemicals, but they don't sell the hardware. They only sell the actual liquid, the chemical. There are a few places online that I'm going to start looking, because this couple of last weeks doing these holiday homes has sort of made me think there's more money to be made from soft washing than pressure washing. Um, I like pressure washing, but if I can squirt water or something and that makes it just as clean, I'm like, yeah, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Um,
And it
plus, I
goes a
don't
lot
have,
quicker too with using chemical versus using just pressure.
yeah, then I don't have like I would call it petrol. Like, you don't have the gas in the Honda machine burning away, chugging away. I always think when that machine's on, all I can hear is money going out. When I hear that pop, 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 I'm thinking money, 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 money. Whereas with a soft wash machine, I've got the cost of the chemicals, but I'm a Scotsman, at heart. And the Scottish mentality is, if you can save a penny, you save a pound. We're very stingy. Or historically, we're very stingy. So if I can save money in any way possible, so if I can squirt chemicals at something, it doesn't cost me anything. It cost me the charge to charge that backpack up. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that. So I need to find a new way of soft washing.
417 put a lot of guys run roller pumps in UK. So
Roller pumps. I'm gonna
hmm
look that up.
it's the way the pump is. A lot of times, I watch guys in UK do traditional window cleaning with a small ladder, and it's enough to stop your heart.
I've seen a lot more window. I don't really do windows. That's not where I specialise. I was okay when I've used SH around the windows. I'll use plenty of water to
To
get it
rinse
off of
it.
there.
Hmm.
But I'm not doing the whole window service. But yeah, some of the guys around here, when you see them, the traditional window washer, and you see them on that ladder, and I'm thinking, oh no, like I'll use my water fed pole from the ground.
So tell me one thing that you, being that you're just new, I know everybody does it, and this is the reason why I'm asking. Tell me one thing that you did have a failure, and what was one or two things that you learned from that failure?
Um, can I say that I haven't had a failure? Yeah.
Well, they'll come.
Yeah, I have. I did have a failure. The machine I bought, the first machine I bought, literally a month or two into actually squirting water at stuff, and I went through two machines. The first machine I bought, I didn't read the reviews. I didn't go right in depth. It's called a Wilkes USA TX850. There's nothing USA about it. It's made in China, sold on Amazon. And I was looking at the price. I was thinking, yeah, £650. That's fine. Um, that was definitely a failure. It was.
I know what the other failure was, is you getting SH on your foot and
Yeah, I was kind of trying to move on from that. But yeah, that was, okay. So I've had two failures. I've gone from saying I've had no failures. I've had two failures. But now I have a Honda machine, and can I just say I'll never buy another machine apart from Honda.
right.
They keep on going. Um, it it's made me so happy, like having a Honda machine. So always stick with Honda. Never drop SH in yourself,
Yeah.
and you can succeed forever.
Actually, this is a good point talking about SH. SH and backpack sprayers can be a problem if they spring a leak and run down into your trouser. And that is 100% true.
That was pretty much the way it happens. It is a backpack sprayer. Um, I had taken the lid off the backpack sprayer to fill it up and got some down my trouser leg and thought, yeah, it'll be okay, it'll be okay. Um, and I was standing there maybe half an hour later with the hose, like the garden hose, stuck into my shoe, into my PPE. And I was hating life. I was on fire. So, but yeah, backpack sprayers. I would never put that thing on my back. I've seen people with those backpack sprayers on the back, and I always think, I really hope that's just water. If you're cleaning those windows, and I hope there's no SH near that because you see people as well with like weed and the backpack sprayers with a little handle. They have them on their back and they've got weed killer and stuff, and I'm like, oh, you're risking a lot right there.
Yep. What is so self-limiting beliefs or disbeliefs? Tell me, how have you had any self-limiting beliefs, and how have you dealt with them?
Um, I
Did
think
you
like I
have
was saying,
anybody tell you you couldn't do it or anything like that?
I've had I've got my closest friend. Um, he kind of looks out for me, and I totally appreciate that. The guy's my best friend. I completely understand that he's looking out for me, but he's like, yeah, you shouldn't go. I don't know if you can say that on YouTube, but you shouldn't go balls deep in this. You should ease into it slowly. And I'm like, no, I'm either 100 miles an hour or lay down. I'm sleeping. So I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. But that kind of niggled away at the back of my mind a little bit. Like, yeah, is he right? Is he telling me the right thing? And he was telling me the right thing. I know why he was telling me. Um, but I had that sort of doubt for about a day in the back of my head. And I thought, no, I'm going to win at this. And if anything, it kind of prompted me on to win even more. So negative for one day, positive for the rest. Um, no, I don't think I've really had any other sort of self doubts. I've had my mum. Um, she's actually been I thought she'd be the one saying, "No, you should think about this." But she's actually like very positive. Like, that's great. Like, how you doing? I go and visit her, and it's like, "Oh, what have you got on today? How many have you got on today?" So that's positive to see my mum being positive. And if anything else, I'm not a mummy's boy in any way. But it's nice to tell my mum the success stories, and have her happy and thinking, yeah, I'm a good son finally.
And that's a good point, because a lot of times your parents might not be always with you and be positive for you and be that person to say, "Hey, you're doing a good job. That's awesome," and that can go a long ways. When we're dealing with, because running a business is not easy. It's not as easy. $6,250 in the first month is amazing, but sometimes it can be hard, and you're going to have
Oh,
hard times. That's just
of
part
course,
of this stuff. But if you're willing to do the hard work, you can get through it, and you can do hard things. And I see a lot of people be like, "Well, I can't do it because of this, or I can't do it because of that." And if you tell yourself that, you're right, you can't do it, because
and
if you tell yourself that, you're not going to be able to do it. But you can do it, and it's you can do amazing things as long as you put your head to it. And is it going
yeah.
to be hard sometimes? Yes. Are you going to have to learn things? Yes, you are. But it can be a lot of fun when we're done.
I think if you learn things the hard way, it kind of sticks in your mind a hell of a lot better than if you were taught it in a book or taught it in a course. Learn things the hard way, and then it sticks in your brain. I remember, like, that didn't work the first time, so I need to do it right this time. Um, I think a lot of people have a lot of excuses. Like, I probably used to always have an excuse for something. I'm running late because of this, or I can't do this because of this. But now I'm very much, there's no excuses. Like, there's no excuse um to fail. I think if you fail, then you've given too many excuses. That's the way I look at it anyway. So never fail.
Well, and you're gonna fail, and that's the thing. But as long as you learn from your failures, it's okay,
Yeah,
and learn how to do it. Hey, I screwed up. I guarantee you won't do something. You won't be putting that bleach backpack sprayer on your back again. But you know what? And that's the thing. It's kind of funny, because I hear a lot of people say, "I didn't listen to you, Jason. I didn't listen to you." And reason why I put my course together is because I've done failures. Everything I teach in my course, I've screwed something up. When I say don't point the gun, I teach I teach on this thing here for about 20 to 30 minutes, about 20 minutes about being a gun. Why? Because it's dangerous. You can hurt somebody with this. You can
exactly.
shoot yourself with this. You can literally put water into your body, into your hand, and have a water embolism, and it can go to your body and kill you like that.
Yeah,
This here can be very dangerous. I had some guy that I was teaching wasn't paying attention, because what's the number one rule when we're dealing with a gun? Never put your hand on the trigger, right? And he
yeah,
pulled the trigger, and I was about 10 feet away with the straight shooter on, and it shot me right where it counts, almost like right on the leg, right next door to it. And it hurt, and it left a big old bruise on me, and the whole 9 yards. And so, the safety of this gun is very safe. We have to use it for that. And so, we learn from our failures. Everything I teach is probably because I've done it. I've seen putting not getting the nozzles in all the way, and they go flying through a window, and I've had to pay for a window. Why don't we park on the driveway? Because I've had to repave. I had to put black tar back on the driveway before. I've done these things. I've seen other people do them, and that's why I teach what I teach, is because I don't want you to do stupid stuff. And most of the times, I hear people saying, "Well, I didn't listen to what Jason said." Just listen, people. Just listen. And I don't mean that by being arrogant or nothing, because I don't know everything myself. I'll tell you right now, I don't know everything, because there's things that change, things that become new, things that are old that go away. And I still keep learning every day. I never stop learning. I listen to podcasts, I listen to books, I read books. and I read books and I go into masterminds. And it's not because I'm special, it's because I want to learn more. And one thing I'll tell you is when you think you know it all, that's when you will fail. And that's when you'll have your biggest mistake. It's all about making sure that you keep learning and keep growing.
Yeah, always be learning.
Yep,
That's
always keep
yeah,
learning.
yeah. It's I was always taught that, like always be learning. Even if you think you're an adamant professional, you might know everything at that point, but there's always, like you were saying, there's always going to be something coming up with a newfangled way of doing something. And that process might make it easier, or it might save you time, it might save you money, but everything's there to be learned. So
It's better to learn from the mistakes of others before you make them yourself. And that's true. I mean, listen to other people because a lot of times though they've done it before.
yeah, absolutely. It's
Now, don't listen to people if they haven't done it and they think they know how to do it and they heard it yesterday on another site. That's not who I would listen to. And we was actually talking about this before we came on that over there they also we have them called Facebook groups here in the States that people will learn one day and teach the next day, and it's the worst thing you can do. So
there are so many Facebook preachers when it comes to this industry. And it means if you're asking a simple question, um, guys, what connection do I need? I don't know if you call it a Q spigot.
yeah,
Um, so what connection do I need? What size do I need? Whatever you need. And these forums to me are there for a reason, so you can get a quick answer. And the people just berate other people on these sites. And I always think we're meant to be in an industry and understand, the whole giving away the secrets. You're teaching your customer how to, wash their own driveway or whatever. But I always just think, why be so nasty on these sites? And like I was talking to you before, um, that's why I kind of like your page and a couple of other guys' pages, because you get the answers and people aren't as argumentative or can I say bitchy. You don't get that, which I like. That's the way the world should be. Everyone should be nice to everyone
yep.
because that's never going to happen.
So, what is your goal for 2022 then?
2022. Do you mean financially or?
Yeah.
Um, well, I kind of want to double what my salary was from where I was working. So if I can make $100,000, I think I've kind of worked out like that $120,000 is where I have to be to then say that's me doubled my salary. And that was kind of when I was coming out of that job. I was saying, but I'm going to double my salary. Um, and that's for two reasons. I want to double my salary because I want to be better off. Um, but it's also kind of to stick my fingers up to anyone that says you can't do that. It's like, no, I can do that. Like, just watch me. Um, so yeah, make $120,000 and just be successful and just have lots of customers that come back to me next year and say, hey, that green stuff, that started happening again. Can you sort that out again? Yes, ma'am, I can. I'm
So,
very happy.
so 120,000. How many months can you work in? Can you work? How many months that you're in working weather wise there?
This year, I'm going to go by this year. I could probably have worked 11 months. I didn't want to start the machine. So I bought the machine back in November. And I held off and held off, thinking, right, okay, we're going to have a flash freeze. We're going to have a flash freeze. We're going to have a flash freeze. And it never happened. I didn't want to start the machine, then have to winterize it
Right.
to then start it again a couple of weeks later. And I kept on putting it off in my head. I can't do that just now. I can't do that just now. So this year, I could probably have worked. 11 months, quite easily 11 months, almost 12. Um, what I have to have in my head, I'm sort of thinking to the future when it gets to mid-November. What am I going to do? I'm going to have. I've got it in my head. I have to have enough savings or whatever. I have to find something to fill that gap from mid-November until probably the beginning of March, and then we can go again. We can go in and see those customers again. And say, remember I was around here last year? One thing I've found is a CRM is so important. Um, so I've got all my customers in there now, and I've got them in a 1 year rotation. So the customer I had today, I know in 1 year's time, I'm going to get a little message saying, "Have you contacted this customer again?" Remember, I can remember her name is Debbie. Have you contacted Debbie today? And I can contact that customer again. But yeah, I'm at that. So we don't have the whole Christmas lights. Over here, people would run a mile if you said, "Oh, $1,000 to do your Christmas lights." They'd be like, "No." We don't really go in for the whole Christmas light thing. So that's something I've watched videos on. I've watched your videos. Um, that has been kind of put to the back of my mind. I'm like, that's not going to work here, you know.
Right.
So yeah, if you come up with any other great ideas, please make a video so that I can think I could do that in those 3 months.
So you talked about a CRM. What CRM are you using?
I'm using Square. So like I've got a Square card reader.
Mm-hmm.
So I just signed up to Square because it was keeping everything kind of in the same box. It's working for me. It's I can take notes on customers. I can look back on my customers. I can leave notes for myself in the future. I take sort of stupid little notes. I remember the name of the dog, because the dog. I don't know. Well, yeah, I know for a fact this is the same in the States. The dog is part of the family. Um, so if I can next year when I call up, I can say, "Hey, how's Jack doing?" or "How's Rex doing?" or whatever. Those little things I think will keep in people's mind as well. Um, I was going to try Zoho. I don't know what your thoughts on Zoho are, or if you have a recommendation for an even better CRM.
I don't know what Zohar is. Um, Yardbook is free, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what works over there versus here, but Yardbooks is free. You can use a free version of Yardbooks, and it works really well. Marquette, I don't. I'm pretty sure they got it. Marquette is one.
I looked
Um,
up. I was watching Joe Deary, and he was sort of talking about Marquee.
mm-hmm.
Um, I looked up, and we don't have it here.
Okay.
Um, so hopefully
Um,
that's something that look like a good one. If that comes here, I want to be first to know about it.
Yeah, Yard Book is one. Yard Book is a pretty big landscaping one, so they might have it worldwide.
Okay.
Jobber would probably be worldwide, but it's pretty expensive. It's not real cheap. That's the only problem with it. So those are some that you can look at. House Call Pro, if Marquette isn't there, probably House Call Pro probably ain't going to be there either. So
As long as it holds my customers' records, and reminds me to give them a call back. Because Debbie today, I'm not going to remember Debbie in a
right,
year's time.
right.
So as long as it has that information, it has it stored, and it has all the information I need to then contact Debbie and say, "Hey, do you need your driveway done again?" Um, the other thing that I'm using is Cam Scanner. Sorry, company Cam.
Mm-hmm.
I've I'm in my 14-day trial period just now, so I'm definitely going to be taking on the full membership once that's up.
Yeah,
Um,
that works really well, and especially if you want employees, and that way they can shoot the pictures and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
and
I
it's good
think
for marketing too, because now you can use that for all your photos. You can put it on Facebook. You can do if there's any other social media types over there that you can use it on
very
there
much.
too. So,
It's I have a couple of houses I've been to. Um, there have been not issues caused, but there has been like broken bricks or broken tiles, and to be able to document that and then take that to the customer. And I'm not saying customers would ever go, customers in the back of their head know that brick's broken.
Right.
Um, but then, oh, did you break that brick? So you'll be paying me. I'm not going to pay you today. You'll be paying me.
Right.
Um, so I was thinking to myself, like, how do you cover yourself? Company can 100%. It's worked, and I know on at least two occasions it's probably saved my bacon. Especially when it comes to having something super clean, you notice things that were maybe noticeable slightly, but then after they're clean, wow, they're noticeable.
Right.
So to be able to go back to my customer and say that was already there, buddy. Sorry, is that's been a lifesaver and a money saver.
So
So.
Joey put, haha, you'll never forget Debbie.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the Dallas reference. So,
Probably.
yeah. Um, well, she wasn't not forgettable, but yeah, I'm not even going to go there. She's a customer at the end of the day. Oh no, my phone is now shutting down. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, you froze on me. Well, so again, it is. I don't know what happened to Steve. He's in Scotland, and it is always cool to see people from around the world that that I've been helping and I've helped you guys. And that is what is always awesome about this. And so, what are some things that you guys are going to be working on this week? I just while we're waiting on him to see if he comes back, what are some things that you guys are going to be working on this week? What is your goal for this week that you can get done? Thanks for sharing about mentoring using the real respirators when spraying SH. This is something that um, I've been pushing a lot. Obviously, I guess he's gone. Obviously, we want to make sure that we are doing the things that we need to do to be safe, and we want to make sure that we are keeping things where we can keep growing our business. And so, with that, like I said, when I wanted you to put something positive down, that's the reason why. And then I want you to put something down that what are you going to do this week? And that's another reason why I want you to do that for is to help you grow, to help you get to the next thing. And I love what David Watts put here, and I hope everybody is doing this all the time is marketing, 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 because marketing is what grows your business. I said that when we first started this call, and I'll say it again. You got to keep marketing, marketing, marketing. That is pretty awesome, Renee. I don't know if I just said that right. I have a $5,000 job, but again, if you want to learn everything you need to know how to start and run a pressure washing business, go check out pressurewashhelp.com/free. You'll get 30 days free. I'm also going to be talking about CRMs this week on Marketing Monday tomorrow. Marketing Monday is tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'm going to go over a bunch of CRMs. And so that is definitely what I will be talking about tomorrow night at 9 o'clock is Marketing Monday. If you join it for pressurewashhelp.com/free, you can get in for 4 Mondays and learn about marketing. And it's about the community. It's pretty awesome community. There's been about 20 to 30 people showing up every week. And so that is a way to help grow community because now we can all share what's working and what's not and how we can grow our business further. With that said, I'm going to read through what some of you all are writing here because I want to make sure that you all are growing your business. Don't give up, never. Then I agree 100% on that. Pushing more. Networking is an amazing thing that a lot of people we forget about and we don't do a whole lot of. We need to keep networking. Facebook, replace signs, finishing up my soft wash system, throwing clip flyers and more signs, working on the website. That is awesome. Um, to go to go further than realizing goals. This week, I really like to complete all the jobs at 5 stars. Awesome results in marketing. Um, Yay, CRM. CRMs are awesome. They really are. I've been watching you for a while now, brother. Much love from Texas. Awesome. We got a lot of Texans in the house. I had one guy in my live tonight. We did a Zoom call tonight. I do a Zoom call every other Sunday night, which the next one will be next Sunday. Normally, I didn't do one last Sunday. That's why I did it this week. But my next one will be this next Sunday. And there was a guy he was from Texas, and I thought he was somebody that was from Dayton, Ohio, but it happens. Just joined the Commerce Chamber of Commerce. That's awesome. Um, Use all avenues and tools. Boots on the ground next week, hopefully. Go flip some rocks. When you flip some rocks, you'll be surprised what you'll find under those rocks. So keep flipping them. Make sure that you are flipping every rock you can, so that way you will find everything you need to. But with that said, I'm actually going to jump off here. I know we're a little bit short of an hour, but that's all right. And he's trying to call me now, but I'm going to jump off here, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about QuickBooks versus CRM tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on my live. PressureWashHelp.com/free. Also have a in-person training coming up in the last week of April. You might want to check that out. I go through all different kinds of stuff about marketing, pressure washing, how to actually pressure wash, how the safety of pressure washing, making sure that you don't do something stupid like we had mentioned earlier tonight, and help you grow your business. See you all next time. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock for Marketing Monday.